With quality brand name products at affordable wholesale prices, Cash and Carry is the perfect place to shop. Whether shopping for individual, business, churches, or more, Cash and Carry is sure to meet your needs. Cash and Carry of Cookeville, 931-528-8050.
Let's get it going. This is the Marcus Satterfield Show presented by IWC Cash and Carry. Of course, we got Tennessee Tech head coach Marcus Satterfield. I'm your host, Dylan Vazano. No game for the Golden Eagles this past week. It was their bye week. It was their open date. Tennessee Tech now into their final 4 games of the regular season. This Saturday, TTU will play host to Tennessee State from inside Tucker Stadium. Coach, we'll get to that matchup a little bit later, but first you had the bye week, you had the open date. How did it treat you and your guys?
It was great, perfect. Timing, our guys needed to get away from us. We needed to get away from our guys, so fall break fell at the correct time, and they were able to leave campus and then come back healthy and come back energized. We had a great week of practice, focusing on the fundamentals and ready to get a good start on Tennessee State.
Love it. Sounds great. Well, at this time in the show, we always talk about the previous game. Of course, no past game to speak of, so instead, we'll do things a little bit different. We'll talk Golden Eagle basketball. Let's show you the video. It's time for the season preview brought to you by Wendy's of Cookeville.
In terms of growth, we're improving. I think every team is just so different. No matter how many guys you have returning, you have to go through stages of development for a basketball team. And in order to reach the next stage, you got to clear the next stage. So. We're growing. These guys work really hard. They're very coachable. They're very tough. They're able to endure work. I'm very proud of where we're at. We're 14 practices. Today will be 15 days of practice. We get 30 practices for 30 days of practice before our first game. So we are at the halfway point right now today, and just really excited about the direction we're going. Our staff has changed. And that we've added 2 guys that are new to our staff, and Gerald Gilliam that came from South Florida. He's done a very good job with energy and a good skill development guy, and also a terrific recruiter, and has a lot of ties to the South, which is where we recruit most of our guys from. So Gerald has done an outstanding job of hitting the ground running for a young guy. And in my operations position, I hired Melvin Scott, who is a national champion from North Carolina, won NCAA national championship as a player at North Carolina, has been involved with different levels of basketball after his professional career, and has done it coming here and really hit the ground running as a humble, hard-working young coach, and really excited about his future. And I was able to move Gus Fraley from our operations position into a full-time assistant's position, and Gus deserved the move. He's worked hard here. He's been very dependable and loyal here, and he has done an outstanding job to this point of not only taking over a full-time assistant spot and knowing what I need day to day, but also helping our new guys get accustomed to Tennessee Tech and how we do things. And the biggest thing is those guys are great with our players. They're good role models. They're good voices from to hear. They've done a really, really fantastic job with our players and just being there for them as people to talk to and share their experiences with. So I couldn't be happier with where our staff is right now. And talking about this year's team, you couldn't go any further than our returning seniors. Last year, especially non-conference, we had some real growing pains. We played some great teams early, some teams that went on to have successful years, and we learned a lot. And then in conference play, we were able to kind of, albeit inconsistent, but very, very competitive in conference play, and had some really good wins. And so I have 5 seniors. 4 of those guys are returners. But those 4 guys that are returners they're solid as a rock. They're everyday guys. They come to practice every day. They're dependable. They're accountable. They're smart. They're tough. And Kajon Mack and Alexa Jugovic and Curtis Phillips and Mason Ramsey. And then we were able to add Shaquille Calhoun, which is a kid that had been involved with our program as a signee out of high school, had gone other places and has graduated with a year left of eligibility, and he decided to come finish his career where he'll tell you should have came all along. Courtney Alexander is a junior, and he gives us a defensive athletic presence, a rebounder. Micaiah Henry is a sophomore that we feel like has the potential to develop into one of the better post players in the Ohio Valley Conference. And Stephon Adams is another guy that a lot of times transfer guys their first year will have to find their way. He did. He had some up and down moments. He's had a terrific spring, summer, and fall, and we were counting on Zaba to be a very key part of our team. What am I looking forward to this season? You know, just the entire thing. We always have we always say that success is a journey, not a destination. And you know, right now for coaching, the buzzword's all process, and it is. But it really is the destination, the journey. It really is the day-to-day that kids that I missed as a player. As a coach, I remember from each team the special things. You remember some wins and you remember some losses, but you remember the relationships more than anything else. I have no doubt that our team will always compete with a good attitude, and make us proud, make me proud as a coach, make us proud as Tennessee Tech University represents the right way. I'm just looking forward to every day with them, and from now until we start on the next team. There's a lot of stuff that we have to continue to improve on. We'll continue to work on our defensive fundamentals. We have a core group of fundamentals that we'll work on every day defensively. We'll obviously have to keep working on press offense, zone offense, and execution of man. It really comes down to my dad, who I miss terribly, but he told me a long time ago, he coached forever, and he said, you're either working on fundamentals or you're working on situations, and if you're not doing those two things, you're not practicing. And so we work a lot on fundamentals every single day, and then we'll work on certain situations every single day. So it's just about achieving doing the ordinary things extraordinarily well, and that's kind of our gig. I don't think that we're that complicated. I think that we want to do what we do very well, and that'll be the focus every single day.
Oh, Steve Payne, pretty good salesman. He's got me sold. I think Coach has some potential with this Golden Eagle basketball team.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I'm a basketball guy. Played 1 year of college basketball at Chattanooga State, a little junior college across the mountain there. And I was telling you, I was a point guard but shot it way too much. As my dad would say, I was a shooter, not a scorer. And so I realized pretty quickly I need to get back in football.
Well, we got the Tennessee Tech men's team cover. Let's take a look at what the women's team's up to with Kim Roseman. Let's roll the film. Time for the season preview.
Competier, and it's a Latin word which means strive together, and it's where compete was derived from. And so I think that's the biggest thing, the biggest difference really from year one to year two. Year one was all about building our culture, laying that foundation of who we're going to be on the court, in the classroom, in the community. And while that never ends, your culture is something you have to protect and work on daily. Now we can kind of move from that while we're still focused on our culture, because we never want to lose that. Now we've gone from just trying to lay a foundation to now learning how to compete in everything we do. We had 6 returning players from last season, which is really a luxury for us, because now we have 6 people in that locker room that understand the standard each and every day on and off the court, that understand the expectations of playing in this program, and that are able to set the standard for us. Last year, it was more coach-led, not because our seniors last year weren't doing what we were asking them to do. They were. It was just they were learning us as we were going. They didn't know the standard. They didn't know the expectation. So to be able to return in year 2 and now have 6 returning players that are setting the standard for you is truly a luxury and a nice one to have. We have 2 seniors in Octavia Hickson and Asia Harper, who I'm so excited about. I can't say enough about their senior leadership and what they're doing for our team. Extremely committed young women. They are team first players, and just excited about what I think they can do for their senior year. Well, we have 9 new faces, 7 freshmen and 2 junior college players, and I'm really excited about the depth and balance that those 9 new players bring to our team. We have competition at every position now, and that breeds excellence. And so while recruiting is really, you have to put pieces of the puzzle together, each player brings something different to the table, but they each play a different role. And so I'm just really excited to start to see how they're fitting into the team and what they can bring to this season. I think the thing that excites me the most about this team is the potential of how balanced this basketball team can be and how deep we can be, because we have 15 in number, and it's not just quantity now, it's quality. We've got a lot of quality basketball players that I think can bring a lot to the table, and so I think we can be a much more balanced basketball team. Last year, we were really solid on the defensive end. We finished third in the OVC in scoring defense, and we finished 11th, I believe, in scoring offense. And so we've got to get to where we're finishing in the top 4 in both offense and defense. And I think we have an opportunity to be a much more balanced team on both ends of the floor. The offensive end was a struggle for us last year, and I think we have more of the pieces this year to be able to put it together on the offensive end. Well, I think the biggest thing with our staff has been continuity. Last year we were coming in, while most of us knew each other, we were getting to know how we worked together, the standard that we wanted to set each and every day, how we wanted to play as a team, and also adjust to what we had already in the cupboard, so to speak, with the players that we had here. And so it's awesome to have some continuity and having worked together for a year between the 4 of us, and myself, Melanie Walls, Allie Clark, and Aaron Sternica. We also had a new addition to our staff in the postseason with Coach Courtney Struthers, who has been a great addition. She's our post coach and is just doing an excellent job. She was a player at Alabama, has played at a very high level, and has just really brought a lot to the court and off the court as well. Excited to get the season kicked off. It's right around the corner. Our players are working extremely hard. November 5th, we'll be here before we know it. That's our first exhibition game, and then we open up on that following Friday on November 10th at home against Tennessee Wesleyan. So we can't wait to get back in front of our great crowd here at the Hoop and show our fans what this team is going to be all about. I think you're going to see a team that plays inspired, that plays for each other, and that really loves the game and honors the game and plays the game in the right way. So excited to get this season kicked off and look forward to seeing everyone at the Hoop.
Thanks for that, Coach Roseman. And there's some good excitement, a lot of new players, and of course, they got Sugar Hickson coming back, who was one of the best scorers in the conference last year.
Yeah, I really enjoy watching her. And me and Coach Roseman, she'll tell you, we think we might be related somewhere. We are very similar in our thoughts and our intents and our processes and how we go about things. So I'm excited to see they're going to improve, and they're not going to be able to win the NCAA tournament probably this year, but they're going to be well on their way. It's an exciting young team.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. Well, Tennessee Tech did not play this week, the football team, but let's get back to the gridiron, see what else went down as we take a look at the OVC scoreboard. That's brought to you by the Golden Eagle Golf Club. 3 games, there was no Tennessee Tech. There was also no Tennessee State, the Golden Eagles' next opponent. Murray State was idle as well. As you take a look at the 3 scores, Jacksonville State trailed at the half for the first time in OVC competition since 2013. They were down 5, came roaring back to the tune of 21 unanswered in the second half to defeat EIU. That was a battle of the last 2 unbeatens in the OVC. Eastern Kentucky throwing a curveball with a season-high 246 rushing yards. They had only 345 rushing yards combined in 6 games. They end up defeating UT Martin 31-21. Last but not least, Austin Peay, they go to 4-1 in the OVC, defeating SEMO 38-31. That was a game they led 38-14 in the fourth quarter. SEMO scored the game's final 17. And then for Austin Peay, sophomore Kentel Williams won OVC Offensive Player of the Week. He had only 8 carries but rushed for 148 yards and a touchdown. Coach, a light week of action, but you see the 3 games that went on this week.
Yeah, I was able to watch them, on the OVC Digital Network. It was really nice to be at home and in the comforts of my living room. But the Jacksonville State game, they came out. They were sleepwalking early and did a nice job coming back. And then Eastern Kentucky is a very talented team that are not, they're finally playing up to their potential. And then another great win by Austin Peay over a tough SEMO team.
Well, those are the 3 games. We still have much more to come here on the Marcus Satterfield Show. We got the player profile. We got a unique mic'd up. And then, as always, we will talk about Tech's upcoming matchup. It's against the Tigers of Tennessee State. So don't go anywhere, right here.
What are you looking for? A place to belong? A path to a career? A way to make things better? Do you wonder what opportunity looks like? Explore your answers here. Change your world at Tennessee Tech University. Visit tntech.edu/change.
0-1, hit high and deep.
Back of the end zone. Brown got it.
Moore drives inside, put it up.
To this one, swung and missed it.
Now Smith again, block point Tech.
Nice turnaround by Johnson.
Near post.
Kicked in.
Any place, anytime. Find it here. The OVC Digital Network.
Back here on the Marcus Satterfield Show, presented by IWC Cash and Carry. It is time for our player profile. Now, this position might get overlooked a little bit, but it is absolutely crucial to the success of a football team. Without further ado, let's show it to you. It is time for the player profile, and that is brought to you by the OVC Digital Network.
My name's Riley Patton. I'm a redshirt sophomore, and I'm the long snapper here. My major is manufacturing engineering technology, and so I just want to go into the manufacturing construction field. It's a pretty broad major, and I can kind of do a lot with it. I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee. It was a big deal to me when I was deciding where to go to school. Was to go to school somewhere that was close enough to home, but not too close to home, because I don't want to have those kind of issues. But it was close enough to home where I could still see my parents, and they could still come watch me play. That's what I said. This is my third year here, and the first year we didn't do a whole lot, but ever since Coach Satt has been here, we have done a whole lot of community service at reading to kids at elementary schools, and just working at different community events and all. And then we've done a lot of that in the past couple of years since Coach Satt has been here. Since Coach Satterfield has got here, the program has changed quite a bit, and on the field and off the field. Off the field I knew I was never a bad student before he was here. I had 3.0, but ever since he's got here, he really pushes us in the classroom, and I've been on the academic honor roll the past 3 semesters. I got with a couple 4.0s, so it really helps out. I just want to be the best that I can possibly be. My position's a little different than most positions. That's what I have to strive for perfection. Every snap needs to be as perfect as it can, so the other guys can get their jobs done. I have to do my job the best way I can for them to be able to get their job done. Coach Satt told us, and it's actually on the wall in the locker room, champions behave like champions before they're champions. And I love that quote, because the culture has to be right. You can't just show up and win a championship. Everything, you have to start every single day, and it starts from shoestrings to championship rings, everything in between. You got to show up every day and do it.
Riley Patton, and we were talking, that of course is such a crucial position to the success of a team. You got to get those snaps good, of course.
And it's crazy because the best long snappers in the country, you should never ever know they exist on the planet. It's like a good referee. You don't want to even though they're out there. And Riley's done a nice job since we've been here. He keeps getting better. He's developed more confidence of just being there for us every Saturday. And he's a team guy. And as you can tell by what he was saying, he's bought into the culture. He's bought into our standards. And just really, really proud of how he keeps improving. And glad he's on our team for sure.
Well, I'm really excited about this mic'd up coming up, because we are going to do things a little bit different. We're going off the football field and into the classroom. Let's show you the film. It is mic'd up, brought to you by Pepsi.
Andrew, have you made your advisement appointment yet with Miss Kara? Do you have internet?
I'm not even gonna lie. I made one and I forgot.
For my communications with one.
Yeah. So COM 2025 is like group speeches. So like if you do more group work, whereas PC is more group work. COM 2025 is more individual speeches. So it's completely up to you if you want to do communications or PC. It's completely up to you. Octavian, did you go to Dr. J's office and get your TK20? Okay, so they're gonna go get it. Okay. And then what about your copy or app quiz? Did you do that? So you can do that here too. Yeah, let's do that first. Oh, yeah, you got a joke?
Yeah, which bug gobbles up trash?
Which what?
Which bug gobbles up trash?
I don't know.
The litter bug.
The litter bug. So basically, in this cover letter, you're going to be writing about what you corrected from the first one and why, let's say you had capitalization errors. Like I realized I had multiple capitalization errors, in which I went through and corrected each of those to capitalize proper names and, you know.
Okay.
Ethan, you're out too, bud. Hey, good luck on your art test. You're gonna do okay.
Good luck on you, Dan.
You'll do all right.
Good luck. Bro.
And I know it's real long, but that's what I've heard is the best way. Do you need note cards? Yes, sir. I will.
Thank you.
Well, Coach, first, DJ Wilkes with the great joke.
Yeah.
Love that. But obviously, student athlete, student comes first. That was really cool to see Levita Dexter and everything she does for the program.
Well, that doesn't even, scratch the surface of what she's done. When I first got here, I begged and pleaded, with Mark and the president to get us a football academic coordinator, and that's what she's done. And from, this time last fall, we set the football record for GPA. We've improved our GPA every single semester, and it's become a culture now that you do well in the classroom, and there's no ifs, ands, buts. It's just the bottom line. You do your best, and she really pushes that through, and she gives them hugs when they need them. She gets after them when they need them, but she is consistently at the top of her game, and because of her, that's allowing us to, I think, to grow as a football program. But she's unbelievable.
Yeah, a job well done and a great segment. Real glad we got the chance to do that. We still have much more to come. Tech football did not play, but there were a number of other Golden Eagle teams that did. And, of course, we will talk about the matchup with Tennessee State. All of that coming on the Marcus Satterfield Show.
Attention all Golden Eagle fans. Tennessee Tech's 6th annual Purple Palooza is Thursday, October 26th. Kids of all ages are invited to trick-or-treat around the outer concourse of the Hooper Eblin Center starting at 6 p.m. with a basketball showcase to follow. There's sure to be plenty of Halloween-themed fun for the whole family. Admission is free and all Golden Eagle fans, students, faculty, and staff are welcome. More information, ttusports.com.
Hello again on the Marcus Satterfield Show presented by IWC Cash and Carry. Well, for a football team and success, you got to have a good depth chart. Here on the Marcus Satterfield Show, we've got one because it is time for the Golden Eagle Update. It's not Mark Wilson. It's not Mike Lehman. It's somebody new. Let's check it out. It is time for the Golden Eagle Update brought to you by ttusports.com.
Thank you, Dylan. Let's jump right in and start with soccer, where they beat UT Martin 1-0 on Sunday in the Senior Day match. By doing so, they finished second overall in the OVC standings and gained a double bye all the way to the semifinals in the OVC Championship Tournament in Murray, Kentucky. With the win, the team ended the regular season on a program record 9-match unbeaten streak. The shutout was the team's 5th straight, which is also a program record. Moving on to tennis, senior Eduardo Mena won 4 matches to make it all the way to the quarterfinals in the ITA Ohio Valley Regional Championships. During the tournament, Mena beat the number 9 ranked player, Louisville's Parker Wynn, to advance to the quarterfinals. Also playing in the tournament was senior Jorge Alfonso, where he won 3 matches in the consolation bracket and made it all the way to the quarterfinals in that bracket. And moving on to men's golf, the team finished 10th in the F&M Bank APSU Intercollegiate last week, led by freshman Braxton Womack, who tallied a combined score of 223 overall. This week they're at the Sanford Intercollegiate in Birmingham, Alabama. Women's golf, they finished 10th in the Billberg Invitational last week, where they were led by sophomore Shelby Johnson, who tallied a combined score of 236 overall. This week they are finishing up the regular season at the Terrier Intercollegiate in Spartanburg, South Carolina. The cross country is ranked 15th in the USTFCCA. Last week also Gilbert Boyd received his 3rd OVC Male Runner of the Week honor, which for the season. Next up, both the men and women's cross country teams will compete in the OVC Championships hosted in Eastern Illinois this Saturday. Volleyball fell to EIU and SIUE this weekend, where this Wednesday they will be at JSU for their midweek matchup, and then back home Friday against SEMO at 7 p.m. Both men and women's basketball teams will be doing a showcase at Purple Palooza this week for the 6th annual event, which will be held on Thursday, October 26th, with trick-or-treating at 6 p.m. and the basketball showcase to follow. The event is free, and hope to see you all there. Dylan, back to you.
Okay, it is time. Let's talk some football. Let's get to the gridiron because Tennessee Tech is ready to do battle against Tennessee State this Saturday. It's time for this week's opponent. That is brought to you by the Golden Eagle Golf Club. Coach, the first time in October, you guys will be at home. You get the opportunity to play Tennessee State, an in-state rivalry. What are we looking at in this matchup?
Well, we better be ready to go because, we got after Tennessee State pretty good last year, and that was kind of when our season at the end when we started peaking and we were making plays and running the football. So I'm sure they've heard about how we got after them, and they're ready to get some payback. So we're going to have to really have a great week of practice and be prepared for a really tough game come Saturday. But our kids are confident. Good thing is we've beaten this team, and so our team has confidence that we at least can compete with them. And so we're excited. They've got some really talented players. They got a talented quarterback, transfer from Florida. They got their offensive line looks like the Green Bay Packers. It's unbelievable. Coached by a really good coach, Russ Ehrenfeld, who lives here in town and used to coach at Tennessee Tech. He does a tremendous job with those guys. And then defensively, there's I think 8 of the 11 are seniors, and so it's a very senior-laden group on defense. And again, they'll be ready to pay that little guy back for what he did last year, and we're expecting a really tough fight.
Yeah, that little guy, Yeedy Thingrad, had a career high 164 rushing yards. Coach, as you look at this matchup, this was last year, the onside kick there by Nick Madoni and the 57-yard field goal as well. You guys were able to run the ball to the tune of almost 300 rushing yards, and I know that that's always such a key for success.
Yeah, and there's the 57-yard field goal, but we averaged 7.7 yards an attempt rushing the football, and they weren't really trick runs. They were right at you, and we held them to under 3 yards, I think, per carry. So we need to replicate that effort, and if we do, at least we'll have a chance to compete for 4 quarters.
Tennessee State 4-3 overall. They started 3-0 with an FBS win against Georgia State, defeated Jackson State, defeated Florida A&M. In OVC play, they are 1-3, but one of those was that double overtime game against Eastern Illinois. One of those, their last game 2 weeks ago, was against Austin Peay in a game that the Governors scored late to win. Their one win against Eastern Kentucky, I remember we talked about it on a previous show. They had those 3 pick sixes in the span of 3.5 minutes in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it was crazy. And they didn't really need those to win, but they controlled most of that game. But when Eastern Kentucky was coming back, they made play after play after play. And even against Austin Peay, they got a pick late that looked like may have sealed the game for them. And so they're very talented. Again, they're a senior team on defense, and they're fun to watch, not fun to play against.
Yeah, absolutely, and you get the opportunity to come back home. I know it's just the way the schedule's worked. I know you guys are totally fine with playing on the road, but just the fact that there's been only 2 home games all season, and we're going on week 9.
Yeah, and when we looked at the schedule, like I was telling you, we didn't know that both home games to this point would be versus top 12 opponents in the country. And so it is good. Like, we like being on the road, but it'll be good to get back home and see if we can show our fans, what we've been doing for the last 2 months, and try to get on a roll. And, we still have a lot of football left to play, and we can do a lot of really good things in this season with the Sergeant York Trophy coming up, and we'll just see what happens.
Definitely, Coach. Well, good luck to you on Saturday, and same time, same place next week?
I'll be here.
Okay, sounds good. How can you watch the game? Right here on WCTE. How can you listen to it? 98.5 KISS FM. As always, you can read all about it in the Cookeville Herald-Citizen. We're going to say so long right here on the Marcus Satterfield Show.
With quality brand name products at affordable wholesale prices, Cash and Carry is the perfect place to shop. Whether shopping for individual, business, churches, or more, Cash and Carry is sure to meet your needs. Cash and Carry of Cookeville, 931-528-8050.